Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the FrostBytez gaming experience. Alrighty, day number 2. Let's get right on to it. Advertisement. I keep finding cool stuff and my backpack is full. Does it sound like you? Well, Pierre's got you covered. Stop by the Pierre's General Store today and check out an affordable size 24 backpack. See you soon. I'd love to do that at some point. Hello there, just got back from a fishing trip. You should come down to the beach sometime. I've got something for you. Willie, how did he know what my real name was? I'm Frosty in this game. Alrighty, so right now, we just want to start off by watering all of our crops. When you have seeds planted, you want to make sure that you water them every single day, except for days where it rains, because obviously it'll do all the watering for you. But you only have to water them once a day, and you'll know if you watered them or not, because obviously you can see the darker textures put into the soil, and it stays that way throughout the entirety of the day. And some days you'll get lucky where you can wake up and it'll already be dark. Like, you'll have some areas, like, say, this whole entire section could be light brown, but then this one point here still shows that it's holding water. So it saves you up on, having to utilize too much, energy in the beginning of the day. You wouldn't even have to worry about it. So that's pretty nice to have. Now let's plant these mixed seeds here. As you can see, we have 3 different seeds, so we don't know exactly what they're going to turn into. You can if you play the game long enough, but I've been away from the game so long that I don't remember exactly what every single seed looks like exactly. So I couldn't tell you what those are really supposed to be growing into. And again, whenever you do the mixed seeds, it's always going to grow a crop of that particular season. So you don't have to worry about, because it's a mixed seed, oh, it might grow a summer plant in the spring. That never happens. It's always going to go out of its way and plant a seed of that particular season. And we finally have ourselves enough to craft ourselves a chest, finally. Perfect. So now we can store really anything that we need. Let's go and just set it right here for now. We'll go ahead and put it up later, more towards here, but for right now we can just have it set right about there. And I actually want to try and get more wood. I want to focus on just getting as much wood as I possibly can in the beginning. Some of it is to fix up that bridge. Again, we need 300 pieces of wood to fix it up. But wood is one of the... for one thing, it's going to help out with our forging, leveling. And we want to hit level 1 forging as soon as possible, just so we can have access to that field bar. The field bar isn't exactly something that I utilize too much, to be honest. Because, especially later on in the game, you get more than enough energy to go through the day without having to actually, utilize any kind of food in order to give yourself more energy. In the beginning, it's a little bit more helpful, but I feel like you don't need to remove everything in the farm right out of the gate. You can take your time with it, take it nice and slow. Because right now we don't need the entirety of the farm. If you saw at the end of the last part I had how big your farm really is, we're not going to be expanding that far for a long time. I actually got some more mixed seeds here. How am I doing on energy? I'm doing actually pretty well. Let's go ahead and just get ourselves another seed planted here. Another thing that I forgot to mention, you don't need to worry about the distance the seeds are between one another. They're always going to take up 1 pixel worth of distance. We got to go there before 5. We got plenty of time, really. Actually, we can go ahead and do that right now because we're getting really low on energy and there's not much else that we really need to do at the moment. So let's put everything away to give ourselves as much room as possible. We also want to keep the energy because if you saw in the last part, we had to dig up the worms out of the soil that gave us that random book. And so we want to have a certain amount of leftover energy in case there's any more, because they kind of just appear randomly throughout the days. So every single crop that you plant just takes up 1 pixel. The only ones you have to give some space to is stuff like fruit-bearing trees, but we don't have to worry about those till later on, really. Hello, you're new. Oh, you're the one that gave us that one book that we read in the library. You are Marnie. Mayor Lewis told me you just arrived. I'm Marnie. I sell livestock and animal care products at my ranch. You should swing by sometime. Well, when I can afford to actually have animals, I'll be more than happy to do that. You're also new. Well, who might you be? This is Haley. Oh, you're that new farmer boy, aren't you? Huh. Oh, I'm Haley. If it weren't for those horrendous clothes, you might actually be cute. I don't know how I'm supposed to take that, so I'm just going to go ahead and head down south to the beach and meet this certain Willie and see what he has to say. But yeah, aside from your fruit trees, every single crop just takes up 1 pixel's worth. You do have some crops, however, that if you have them in a 9 by 9 square, which in a lot of cases we will, you can get lucky every once in a while, and essentially gets what's basically a colossal sized version, where essentially all 3 seeds kind of just grow into one. Not all 3, all 9 seeds grow into one giant seed, and I think it gives you double the amount of what you would have gotten. So instead of 9, you get like 18, I believe, or maybe it's like 50% more or something like that. I don't fully remember off the top of my head, and I do apologize for that. But basically, you have a good chance of certain, like cauliflower is one of them. In fact, I've only gotten it to happen once, and it was with cauliflower. I think it can also happen with a pumpkin, and I think one other crop can actually fuse into one giant one. But I had it with the cauliflower where you had to like really, I think you had to like take an axe to it and chop it up in order to get the amount of what was actually inside it. It was really funny what happened because it threw me off entirely. I was like, what the heck is this? This is just one giant ass cauliflower. But it's very rare, and I don't know what needs to happen for like the rarity of it happening to go up. But we'll worry about that later. Anyways, Willie says that he gave us a bamboo pole because he got a brand new one himself, and he wants to keep the art of fishing alive. However, we're not going to do that today because we don't have very much energy for it. But, you know, we can do it once. So, bamboo pole. Any kind of fishing pole you have, you can utilize to obviously fish. However, where you fish will determine the type of fish you can catch. If you do it here in the more the ocean side of things, you'll get more ocean style fish. There's riverside fish, northern fish, you know, I think there's a whole bunch of different ones. So let's go ahead and just throw it out. The higher it is, the further you throw it out, which again can determine the type of fish that you catch based on where you're at. And you just wait for it to catch, to go into a little fishing mini game, but it takes up 8 whole energy to do it, whether you do catch something or not. Let's hope we catch something good for the little mini game, but sometimes you'll end up catching garbage, which doesn't go into the mini game. It just immediately just throws it on back and calls it good. Looks like we got something actually good. So you want to hold down the mouse button and keep the green bar with the fish until it goes all the way up to the green. Seems simple, and it kind of is, but later on fish, that little fish thing you got to keep the green bar around jumps like crazy, and it is a pain in the ass to keep up with. But we caught ourselves our first sardine, and with that, let's go into the collections to showcase that we caught ourselves a sardine. A common ocean fish, number caught is 1, and the biggest catch 1 inch, and it's worth 40 gold. So we have ourselves our collection, our entire encyclopedia of just what you can actually get within this game. These are farm and forage items, and they have to be shipped in order for them to appear on here. So the foraging is one thing, you know, you pick them up, you're going to sell them no matter what. But then future ones like our parsnips, for example, if you harvest the parsnips but decide not to sell them for some reason, it's not going to appear within your collections. You actually have to sell the farm food in order for it to appear in the collections. Okay, so that's why it says item shipped. Fishing, as you can see, we haven't shipped it out yet. You don't need to. Okay, we can keep the sardine and use it for some kind of food in the future or other events, and it's already in the collection. So we got a whole bunch of stuff that we can fish. These are artifacts that you can dig up, minerals that you can get either by digging them up or getting them out of rocks. Cooking, which, you know, there's a cooking channel that'll teach us certain cookings, and once you make them, this is how you'll get them, and you can get them through the crafting. And then achievements as well. In the crafting, we already went over that. We already went over the map as well. Social, this is the last thing that we haven't really done yet. So social basically shows how, well, to make it simple, how social you are with the people around you. Okay, we have Penny, Harvey, Vincent, you know, and if you haven't met them yet, they're just sitting there with a question mark. We got to introduce ourselves to them first. But then there's a certain amount of heart bar here. Basically, the friendlier and more social you are with them, the more the hearts are going to eventually go up. And for people that are single, you can get it to the point where you can eventually marry them. Right next to them is a gifting ordeal. You can give gifts to the individuals of Stardew Valley, and you're allowed 2 gifts per week, I believe. And once you've given them a gift, it gives you an X or a check mark, whatever it is. I don't exactly remember. And then when both of them are used up, you can't give them another gift during that week. Or, like, you can, but it won't register towards getting happiness points. Based on what you give them will determine the amount of happiness points you get or lose. You know, some people, they want certain items, and that's other people, people probably do not like as much. You know, and you can tell based on their reaction when you give it to them if they actually did enjoy what you gave them or not. And the level of it is, again, different based on what it is that they really like, which you find out more just by talking to them, getting an idea of what their personality is. Or, again, you can just look it up on the Stardew Wiki, and it shows you the list of items that some like compared to others. This is Abigail. Oh, that's right. I heard someone new was moving into that old farm. It's kind of a shame, really. I always enjoyed exploring those overgrown fields by myself. Well, now I'm the owner of it, so if I see you out there, that is not going to be okay. I'm just kidding. Everybody's welcome onto my farm, but no one really comes to visit you, unfortunately. It's kind of sad. Oh, that's right. I actually want to come over here and destroy all these shrubs, see if I can get myself some mixed seeds ahead of time. Let's see what we got ourselves here. We mostly got a lot of fiber. Dang, no seeds this time, huh? Unfortunate, nothing but fiber. Oh well, it happens. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and just head on up north and see if we can find some stuff worth forging. Hello there, good sir. Who are you? Demetrius. Greetings, I'm Demetrius, local scientist and father. Thanks for introducing yourself. I'm studying the local plants and farm and animals from my home laboratory. Blech. Have you met my daughter Maru? She's interested to meet you. I actually did meet her. Thank you very much. I'm just going to barge into your house, see if anyone else is here. Does not look like it. One thing that you can do is after you hit a certain amount of friendship level of people, they'll actually just let you barge into their own bedrooms. But we're not going to friends with either Robin or Demetrius in order to enter their bedroom, so we can't do that just yet. And this gentleman right here, oh, is he actually leaving? Oh, nice. I can actually chat with him. This is Sebastian. Oh, you just moved in, right? Cool. Out of all the places you could live, you chose Pelican Town. He usually just stays downstairs and just plays on his computer pretty much all day. So the fact that I actually was able to get the good timing of him coming out of his room is actually really good. Because I did not think that I would be able to get myself introduced with him just yet. We got ourselves a leek. And another gentleman to talk with. Linus, a stranger. Hello. Don't mind me, I just live out here alone. Alrighty, well, you enjoy yourself, Linus. And I will go back to my farm and try to clean up my backpack as best I can. Ooh, another wild horseradish. Beautiful. So we actually ended up, there are 4 like wildlife items that you can pick up within Stardew Valley for every single season. And we actually just ended up getting the last 2 that we needed to finish up via the collection. So that actually is pretty lucky on our part. And we'll get rid of the sardine and the oyster as well. Put the rock and the fiber away. And it hasn't been picked up yet, but that's what those take up on. So now what we want to do actually is we want to explore more south for something. So let's go ahead and just cut our way through. We don't need to worry about the grass too much because it doesn't block our path like the shrubs do. See if we can make ourselves a way through this entire maze. Doesn't look like we can this way. Maybe towards the other way. It's always such a maze in the very beginning, and if you're trying to save up on energy as best as possible, it can get really confusing, but it looks like we do have ourselves a way through it without having to use any of our energy. Beautiful. Nice. Another wild horseradish. We're going to want that. Because what we want to do now that we've shipped off one of each, we want to actually collect one of each and hold on to them for the time being. And the reason for that will be brought up once the time comes. You know, we're not going to worry about it just yet. Again, we're just looking to just chill out, relax, enjoy ourselves for now. You know, we're only on day number 2. Next to this really disgusting house, unfortunately. Oh, nice. We found ourselves some worms. What do we got here? Another book. Wow, 2 books in a row. That's actually pretty lucky. Lost book. So we can actually go back to the library when we so choose and actually see what else we can learn about this area. Doesn't look like any have grown yet. That's a little bit unfortunate. One of the main reasons why we wanted to come down here, and from what I remember, it only happens in the spring, but within this patch specifically, but in any of these patches, we have ourselves some spring onions that grow. And they don't belong to anybody, so we can actually just go down there and just harvest them ourselves and sell them. However, it doesn't look like they've actually started growing yet, so didn't really get anything out of that trip. Unfortunately, from the looks of it... Oh, no, that's Penny, so we've already talked with her. But again, we can chat with her again, see what she has to say. I'm tutoring Vincent and Jazz today. They are a handful, but it's nice to make a difference in someone's life. Well, that'll introduce me to Jazz, I hope, then, because that's someone that we have not met just yet. It's actually getting pretty late. Oh, another new person. This is Sam. Hey, I'm Sam. Good to meet you. Well, short, sweet, to the point. I like it. I already talked with you. I talked with you. How many people do I still need to chat with? Looks like 9. So we actually did meet a whole lot of people. I know one of which we can meet that's in here. Oh, looks like more than just one. Pam. Hey, kid. The name's Pam. Hey, Gus. Give me another round. Hick. Oh, wow. She'll just keep on saying that, huh? This is Gus. Well, hello there. I'm Gus, chef and owner of the Stardrop Saloon. Hi. Please relax and enjoy yourself. Well, it's nice to meet the two of you. And then this gentleman over here. What do you want? Go away. Nice to meet you, good buddy. You can buy some Joja Cola here if you want, or you can play one of the 2 games, which I'll probably show off later on, but I do kind of want to wrap up the day so we can go into day 3. Because again, every single day, depending on how often you stop to talk with people, it should take roughly around 14.5 minutes, I believe. So that means we can get 2 days done for every single part, unless there's some days where I can just end them relatively quickly. But this was one that we were able to, usually around 8, 9 o'clock, I try and get myself to sleep. And we want to hold on to all of these, actually. Again, we want to have at least one of each of the stuff in the wild that we can get. And let's see what the weather is in store for us tomorrow. It's going to rain all day tomorrow. That's really good news for us, because then all of these are just going to automatically be watered, and that saves us a lot of energy, meaning we can utilize a lot more for fishing. But I think I'm going to spend more time just trying to open up the farm a little bit and get as much foraging and as much mining done as possible. There we are. Foraging leveled up to level 1. +1 axe proficiency. Tree sometimes will drop seeds. That's good to know. New crafting recipe. Wild seeds for the spring, if we ever want to do that. Which the wild seeds are basically the wild food that we just got done picking up. It's our foraging food, really. You don't really want to throw anything into wild seeds because they don't really give you that much money. And again, you can just find them all over Stardew Valley anyway, so there's no point in it. And then you get yourselves the field snack. The one that I said gives you, I think it's 45 total energy. We got ourselves a good almost 200 coin. And let's go into day number 3 where we have some rain so we can utilize our energy more for everything else. Perfect. So yep, all of this is now watered, so we are good. Let's actually get some of our mining done because we want to see if we can get ourselves a geode. A geode is something that, oh, we got ourselves some coal, that's something. But a geode is something that you can find randomly in rocks whenever you mine them. And through that, you can get yourself some really interesting materials. That's a shrub. I was wondering why I was being blocked off there. You can find some interesting materials or interesting artifacts within them. So that's, and again, just taking out the rocks helps out with our mining. One thing that I should state, however, that I did not go into just yet. So one thing that we got was we have +1 axe efficiency. +1 in axe efficiency means that you use up less energy when utilizing the axe. Okay, if the one thing that you're thinking of is, oh, you know, having that means that your axe is stronger, it is not. The only way to get the axe, the pickaxe, the watering can, and the hoe stronger is to upgrade them to higher proficiencies themselves. Start with a normal axe, pickaxe, all that stuff. You can get them to be a bronze, and I believe it goes bronze, then iron, gold, and then I don't remember what the name of the last upgrade is off the top of my head exactly. Only through then can you start taking out stuff with less hits. So right now, you know, utilizing an axe on a tall tree takes us 15 total chops, 10 to knock it down, and then another 5 to get rid of the stump. When you have the maximum one, I think it's iridium is what the name of it is. When you have like the iridium axe, it then takes 5 total. I think it's like 3 to take it down and then 2 to chop off the ground. But whenever you level yourself up, the proficiency you get means you use up less energy for it. It's not going to be noticeable right out of the gate because +1 in the efficiency only takes up 0.1 less energy, which over time, you know, if it's like if I swing 10 times, then instead of using 20 energy, I only use 19 energy. It doesn't mean much. However, once you get it to the maximum, it means every single swing takes one less energy. So instead of it taking 2 energy, it's only going to take 1 energy. And it really helps out in the long run, especially when you get a bigger energy bar. And along with the fact that once you get the upgraded versions of like the axe and pickaxe and whatnot, it's going to take less swings anyways. Because again, this tree would already be cut down. It would only take me a total of 5 energy because it would take me a total of 5 swings instead of it taking 15 swings and a total of 30 energy. Or right now it'd be more around like 29 and a half, no, 28 and a half energy or something like that. So that's one of the main reasons why you'd be looking to level up as much as possible, just to save up on your energy. But also, when you hit a certain level, these big ones, level 5 and level 10, you can actually pick between 2 different styles of farming or mining or foraging, and it gives you extra bonuses based on whichever one that you take. Alrighty. Not getting nearly as much as I was hoping. I was hoping to get a geode by now so I could show that off. We actually got a full inventory, so let's go ahead and put that away. We got ourselves a pine cone and a maple seed. Very nice. Be able to utilize those later on. But unfortunately, still no geodes. When we start doing another part of the game where we do like cave crawling / dungeon crawling, that's more for the combat side of things, that's where we're really going to utilize a lot of our mining and actually get relatively good geodes. Right now, we're not getting so lucky. No real geodes to get within this area, unfortunately. Bit of a shame, but again, not the worst thing in the world, really. Well, at least we're getting a whole lot of rocks, though. Let's go ahead and chop this tree down just to get some more logs. And because it's raining, we could probably take advantage of fishing for a little bit. See if we can catch anything in particular. You know, because again, when you love the raining days because you don't have to use up your energy for much else. And you can do it for things that, you know, you usually couldn't because you run out of energy too much. It's just taking down more trees, taking out some rocks, or in this case, going out of our way to fish. Now, you will note that we do have a pond here that we can fish in. However, you only really get garbage out of it. So you don't want to be wasting that amount of energy just getting nothing but garbage. Right now, we have enough energy to fish about a good 10 times. The only thing that's kind of sucky about when it rains is that the music doesn't play when it rains. And that's always a bit of a shame because, you know, to me, the music is what really drives this game home for me. It's what makes it really relaxing and just a really fun experience to go through. If we try going in here on a Wednesday, it is closed on Wednesdays. And once again, if you bring it up on your small map, it'll show you closed on Wednesdays so you know who's where. It also tells you who lives where. So if there's someone that you haven't met yet, you can go out of your way and look and be like, oh, they live over here, or they can be found over here, and that'll help you meet everybody that you can within Stardew Valley. There's still quite a bit that we got to meet, but right now we just kind of want to go fish. And we want to go down to the beach anyways to see if there's any worms that we can dig up that can give us random stuff like artifacts or more books. We need to go back and read that one book, actually, now that I think about it. And we can just, you know, see if there's any good areas to fish at. What we are looking for when we're fishing is you don't really just want to fish in any old area because then it can take a while. You want to find areas like this, ones that are really bubbling over. However, we can't get our rod that far, so it doesn't really help that it's, you know, all the way over there. Maybe we can get lucky and find ones a little bit closer. Not looking like it, though. These are all just raindrops. Okay. So it looks like in the ocean here, not able to get... Oh, we do have ourselves something that we can dig up. Just some clay. That's a little bit unfortunate. That's a good one, but once again, a little too far away. We're not able to get to it. Dang, that really sucks. But we'll just do some running around, see if we can find somewhere where we can. Any along the riverbed here? Doesn't look like it. Man, getting really unlucky, actually. Maybe more north we'll be able to find a place to get a good fishing spot in. Not looking so lucky. And the fish just don't want to be caught today, it seems. Now again, because it's raining, you know, you could get a good, and again, you don't need it to be around there. You have a effectively a chance to get more higher quality fish within those areas because you're going to be able to fish there more often, so you can get more out of it. Let's go to another section where we can fish, and if we don't see any good places to get a bite, we'll just go ahead and just fish normally anyways. No big deal, really. Here we are. That should be relatively close enough, actually. Pretty close. Not exactly, though. It's a little bit too far out, but you know what? We'll just make do with what we got. See what we can catch, if there's anything decent. But this is another separate area for fish, so you get yourself a different type of fish than you would in the ocean or in the riverbed. Oof, this one wants to be a bit of a fighter. Whoa, yes indeed. Now, the higher your proficiency is on fishing, the bigger your bar is, so it makes it easier. Right now, we got a relatively small bar, so these really harder to catch fish can be a bit of a pain. A largemouth bass, length 11 inches. Pretty good. Oof, didn't get the maximum again. That's okay. Pretty good catch, though. 38 energy and 15 health if we so choose to eat it. Once you are in the fishing, though, you can't pick up anything else. And again, if you click accidentally, even if you don't catch something, the act of throwing the bob out is what takes up your energy. So you don't want to utilize it like that. This guy's an easy one. We got ourselves a carp, length 21 inches. I do want to showcase that for the field snack, if you get yourself an acorn, a maple seed, and a pine cone, one of each, that's how you go out of your way to make the field snack if you are so looking to have one. But again, not exactly something that I'm too interested in at the moment. Pretty good catch. And these fish we do actually want to save at least one of each. Again, we will figure out why in future parts, but for right now, we do want to try and save them. I should have saved the sardine too, but it was an easy one to catch. But right now, we just want to get our fishing proficiency up as much as possible, because again, the bigger the green bar is, the easier it's going to be to catch the hard ones. And even with all the upgrades, some of the really hard ones are still relatively tough to get. Ooh, a new record for a largemouth bass in size. 14 inches. So we had an 11 inch and a 14 inch. And I don't think the size of them determines how much you make off of them. It's more about the quality of the fish when you catch them. The higher the quality is, you have normal, which is what you have right here, and then you'll have a silver star and a green star. And the higher the star is, the more you get out of it, for one, but the higher money you get for it as well. Now, I don't know what getting a perfect does. Maybe it gives us a bigger length, or it ups the quality. As you can see, this is a higher quality carp. We get more energy and health out of it, but it is also going to sell for more money because it is of higher quality, which we will see. Well, if we get a third carp, I can show it, but we definitely want to save one of them. We want to save, the ones that we want to save are the lower quality, though we want to sell our higher quality catches because, again, we'll get more money out of it. It looks like the spot moved, though, so I'm going to see if I can go find it. This is another perfect. Another carp. Beautiful. Yep, just a normal base carp. Again, I don't know what getting a perfect with it does. If it really does anything, I'm not exactly sure. I've tested it many times when I normally play this game, but never really came to a conclusion as to like what getting a perfect does. If it ups the quality of it or the size of it, I'm not exactly sure. But let's go ahead and fish a little bit in the river here. But I want to just go around and see if I can find a spot where they're biting more. I don't want to deal with too rare of fish just yet, because again, the higher the rarity, the harder they are to catch, and we don't want to waste energy and end up trying to catch something that's like off the scales on how rare and difficult it is to catch it, because then we just lose out on energy. But it doesn't look like we have really any places where the fish are really biting, so we'll just do a normal fish over here, see what we can catch in the river, see if we can run into a very rare one to showcase how crazy it can go. But what have we got here in the river? A smallmouth bass. So we had a largemouth and then a smallmouth. And let's do one more and then see if we can go get the spring onions if they've started to grow yet. Whoa, yep, here's a tough one. Yep, and then we lose it. So yeah, if they just kind of jump out like that, let's go for one more. Actually, that didn't count. If it jumps all over the place like that, it obviously ups the difficulty of getting them, which is again why we want our fishing proficiency to be a lot higher. Because with the longer green bar, we can get more of it in the beginning, and later on we can get certain poles that can have upgrades that can help us with making catching the fish much easier, which we kind of need because they're jumping all over the place. Oh, well, there's a unfortunate one. Green algae. Yep, very unfortunate. Let's go see if we can get ourselves the spring onions, and then we'll end up calling it a day, and on top of that, calling it a part. Ah, yes. Let's get rid of the algae, because that doesn't really do anything for us. Now, one thing that that I did showcase is the fact that, when you do have a higher quality of one, it takes up a separate space. So if we were getting the spring onions here, if there's one that it says we could not inventory full, oh, let us pick it up anyways. Anyways, whenever it would do that, it would usually, if you're picking up the same exact thing, but it states that your inventory is full, that basically means that you have a higher quality one, which I thought we just did, unless it just randomly disappeared or turned itself into a lower quality one. I'm not exactly sure. That was a little bit odd. I haven't seen it do something like that before. But generally, when you try to pick something up, and if it says, oh, you don't have any more inventory space, that means that whatever you're trying to pick up, if you've already picked up one of the same, it's of a higher quality. So, what it should have been there was it should have been a silver or a gold quality spring onion that I was trying to pick up. But, oh wow, some fiber was just left over there. And over there, too. I guess I had some full inventory ahead of time without realizing it. Oh well, it happens. Oh, getting stuck there. Alrighty, so we want to keep one of you and one of you. If you right click over left clicking, it'll just drop one of instead of the whole entire ordeal. And then the rest, the clay as well, and everything else we can sell. And then, as we will see, we're going to call it a day right there. Before we call it a part, I do want to show the difference between the amount of money that you make. But what kind of weather can we expect tomorrow? Sunny day. Feels nice. We'll have some good music to go with it. But we'll call it a day right there. Oh, fishing went up. So fishing rod proficiency went up, meaning that the green bar got a little bit bigger for us. And if we take a look into the fishing, a normal carp goes for about 30, whereas a higher quality carp goes for about 37. And I believe the highest quality of gold, I think it increases another 7 for a total of 42. And that's where we're actually going to call it a part, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that, this is the end of my first recording session for Stardew Valley. But I do hope you guys have enjoyed what you've seen so far. And again, I'm looking to do this for a while, give myself a bit of a break from doing challenge runs, because I'm going into a new stage of my life and stuff of what I'm doing. And I just kind of need something to relax. So hopefully, this will be enjoyable for you guys. This has been enjoyable for me. But like I said, we'll call it a part right there. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your evenings, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch you all in the next part.